Hello, everyone. Welcome to the SHL S81 Entry Draft.
Today we're going to be hosted by myself, Habs fan from Ontario, and Bad Wolf, who will hopefully be Good Wolf today and stay on her best behavior.
No promises.
We've got a great group of recreates as well as some excellent and exciting first gens, and a whole whack load of goalies to get drafted today. So I'm excited to see what's happening here, as well as any potential trades that might occur during the draft.
All right.
Anything
so
you're looking forward to, Bad Wolf?
I am looking forward to seeing who everyone picks, where all these rookies go. It's exciting to see where they end up and who ends up with who, making new teammates.
Absolutely. We did have some big trades that happened just before the draft was announced. There was Winnipeg trading up to pick 2, which is reflecting on the board, as well as Baltimore moving up to pick 4. Those deals involving some high-end players in Florian Soderberg-Motla, as well as Johnny Forestar, and some future picks in the Baltimore deal from Tampa as they moved Guy Incognito over to Tampa Bay earlier and then flip those picks to move it to this draft into the top 4.
I will be watching the YouTube chat. And as far as Discord goes, just ping me in whatever server you're in. I'm probably in it too. We love to make this interactive.
I believe
Except for Squid. We don't want to hear from Squid.
I believe the Baltimore trade was with New Orleans, and that was for this is the 4th overall pick one.
No, that is not the 4th overall pick one. That's a different pick.
Is it?
Edmonton had 4th overall, so yeah, I'm sure.
Okay.
But this one, it's a pick swap. Baltimore and Nola. I believe Nola's first is lower, so they're trading draft position, adding a second to send Wally's player over to Baltimore as he was named GM. Drafted by Nola, but his return to GMing from HO has been much awaited and has been a pretty electric start so far in terms of player movement and occurrences. Basically what you expect from Wally.
Both BAP and NOLA have multiple firsts, so I'm not exactly sure which picks they traded.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
It's their own, so it depends on their draft position, but
okay, so then NOLA had 15 and BAP had 8, so they will be swapping 15 and 8.
Numbers.
I don't know. The GMs did not include the numbers in that trade. Right. I do have the first pick ready, though.
Excellent. Yeah, so without further ado, the first overall pick, the Minnesota Monarchs will be selecting Phoenix Orion Soderberg Tremblay. The user SD Core, massive bank account, 369 TP, nice. Coming from the San Diego title, where he GMs. Corey is a longtime member of the league. He has held numerous positions, SMJHL commissioner, GM'd in Chicago, founded the title, GM'd in Newfoundland after taking over for Bird. He's been all over the place. He's been here a long time, and he's going to be a big presence in Minnesota moving forward, bringing in just a glut of experience and what should be a great player.
Yeah, definitely easy 2K player, top player. No surprise to go first overall.
Yeah, that'll mean SD Core getting a first overall card. So congratulations to him for that, and congrats to Minnesota for bringing in a top talent. And we'll move to Winnipeg at the 2nd overall slot that they traded into yesterday, making some big moves to move this pick in a 3-way deal with Toronto and Montreal.
I don't know if I have the thing working. I think I do. Oops. No. do have the pick ready at number 2.
Perfect. Yeah, at the second overall pick, the Winnipeg Aurora are selecting Océane Soderberg Tremblay. The user Scold Pador, also known as Jess. Again, the bank speaks for itself. 600 million is no small number. And that comes from doing a ridiculous amount of things for the league and being just an incredible asset to it. The TP's high, 363. Played in Yukon this past year. I don't know why it's showing the Malamutes, Yukon Malamutes, but I think it did for the last pick as well. But Jess returning to Winnipeg, where her last player spent the majority of her career before moving to Los Angeles. And Ace has to be ecstatic to bring that kind of experience again. Someone he has, this is the second time he's made a big move to move up specifically to get Jess. So he's clearly a massive fan. He's got to be very excited to be able to bring her in, and he probably couldn't be happier. This is a wonderful pick for Winnipeg.
Yeah, definitely does not surprise me to see Jess go back to Winnipeg, where she did spend most of her career a very long time.
And this will bring the Hamilton Steelhawks on the clock at pick 3. Will we see the 3 siblings go in the first 3 picks? That would be pretty fun.
That would be really funny.
3 straight picks to 3 different teams? Possibly, but we'll see who is being selected by the Steelhawks. Alex looking to bring in someone. It was said that the co-GM had prior arrangements today, so Darth Davin was acting as Gabe today. So if anyone sees Darth Davin, just say hi, Gabe, to him.
Might as well be Gabe.
There we go. Now I got the pick is in screen working properly.
Yeah, but at pick 3, the Hamilton Steelhawks will be selecting Hatashk. Apologies for the mispronunciation, but Hatashk03 is the user. The bank's a little low, but they've been a wonderful asset in the rookie Discord. Very active, very personable. The Seth Rogen render is hilarious. I'm a fan of that. I think it's great. 356 TP is a very solid number coming from Carolina, where he had a wonderful rookie campaign. 37 goals and 45 assists as a rookie is absolutely absurd.
Yeah, in my scouting packs for this player, they said that they were really involved in Carolina's war room, and that's what they were looking for in an SHL team, that they want to work up in the league and eventually become a GM themselves. So it doesn't surprise me to see a pick this high with someone who clearly has a really high motivation.
Yeah, absolutely. And Hamilton's in that they're in the early phases of their rebuild, so they're bringing in some excellent talent, someone who can help in the war room moving forward, and learn from Alex and Gabe, who have a wealth of experience and progress through that timeline.
Yeah, really solid pick for him.
And this will bring pick 4, the Baltimore platoon on the clock. We're looking at the first pick of the returned Wally tenure. The moment everyone's been waiting for this draft, I'm sure. But yeah, Wally's furiously been making trades and moves, same as Toronto the past couple days. As you can see, they're all over the board here. Toronto a bit more than a second round. But yeah, Baltimore and Toronto have been a very active team as of late. And at 4, the Baltimore platoon will be selecting Jordan Lafreniere, the user Rookie. Excellent TP. The bank's fantastic. Rookie's a very friendly person. He's easy to talk to. I haven't met someone who's had anything bad to say about Rookie. Was very excited the SMJHL class to end up in Vancouver. Ended up in Kelowna, and I've heard he loved it there. Him and Frost have been a great duo for mentoring him, and he had a great year there. And yeah, Baltimore is getting a gem of a player at pick 4. I think it's going to be a really solid fit and a great way to start your rebuild in Baltimore. And speaking of Toronto, they are on the clock at pick 5. This will be the first pick of the JPC tenure. So back to back first tenure picks. They don't always decide a legacy, but sometimes they're kind of the basis of what you're looking at moving forward. So very important picks here for the both teams coming up, and excited to see what direction Toronto is going to go. And the Toronto North Stars will be selecting from the Nevada Battle Board. It'll be Wennessi Shrine Time. The user Juosu. Juosu's had a longtime player in Seattle in their last player. They don't get a lot of notice, but they build great players that are loyal and stick around. They're a wonderful person to talk to, very friendly, active in I believe it's the PBE, but it might be the ISFL. But yeah, just a great pick, a solid bank account at 62 million. The TP is excellent at 368. It's going to be a very good pick for Toronto moving forward. And the render's excellent. I do like the monorail as well in the background.
I love it. I love the chaos going on.
And that'll bring us up to Hamilton again, the first repeat pick of the draft. Hamilton's second selection at pick 6. After grabbing a left winger at 3rd overall, we'll see what direction they're looking to go moving forward. Yeah, at pick 6, the Hamilton Steelhawks are pleased to select from the Kelowna Knights. It'll be Eric Johnson, the user Jag102. The bank's excellent. Jag has been an incredibly active member of the rookie Discord, very talkative. I believe he is looking for. He just bought a new PC actually, which seems to be a theme that's running in the events Discord here. So congrats to the Jag for the new PC. But yeah, a lot of energy. Were they a waiver pickup? Yeah, they were a waiver pickup. So the TP's excellent. They've been max earning. It's a very great pick. The growth has been excellent from this player as they've got acclimated to the SHL, and I think Hamilton's walking away with a very excellent defenseman pick, which is a premium position. And yeah, it's going to be a very, very good pick moving forward. Is my thought on it.
Yeah, definitely a really good pick. That's a really impressive TPE to be claimed on waivers too.
Yeah, I think you're missing the mock draft TP. It'll hurt a bit, but long term it won't really matter that much. Your max earning, 20 TP at this point is nothing.
He'll be really good in SHL.
And this will bring us up to the Buffalo Stampede on the clock. The ever eventful Vandy and Phantomins will be making the selection today. A lot of rumors about this pick. This was the prime position we heard about, possibly a goalie being taken. So perhaps we have the first one coming off the board here, but we'll have to see when the selection is in. And I believe we're good to go now. So at 7, the Stampede are selecting Claude LeCastor, the user BV. This is a first gen with 65 million at the draft, 362 TP. So just absolutely astounding. The energy BV has brought has been amazing. A lot of people are saying, there's the reminiscence of just in time, just a similar level of energy and likability. It's going to be a great pick for Buffalo, getting a franchise goaltender. People can try to dispute how much goalie TP matters, but people always matter, and they're getting a grade A person in Claude LeCastor at pick 7.
Yes, you typically don't see goalies go this high, but with it being BV, with how amazing her personality is, I'm not surprised at all.
this will bring us up to Baltimore's second pick of the draft. You're going to see a lot of repeat picks, a lot of Baltimore, a lot of Minnesota, and a lot of Toronto.
And I believe this
So-
was the one we covered earlier that was traded to NOLA.
Yes.
Oh, so this is Nola on the clock here at 8. Okay.
This is NOLA, yeah.
All right, Joe's first pick of the class then. The veteran of veterans. Joe is the old man of the SHL GM server, as far as I know. I don't mean time in SHL. I just mean old real life.
Even SHL wise, he
Me and
has
Ace
to be on
older
the
than-
top for being a GM for so long. Has to be in the top 5.
Oh, yeah,
probably.
yeah. He's been in NOLA for since they were founded. Founded the team back in the day. So his tenure has been long and illustrious. But yeah, we're just waiting on the pick to be in for NOLA at 8. And at pick 8, the New Orleans Spectres will be selecting Optimus Autonomous, the user The Surreal. The bank's very solid. 360 TP is showing excellent growth. You know, that max earning pace. He was taken 8th overall in the J draft to Ottawa, and I've only heard excellent things. I've talked with The Surreal. He's a really good guy. A bit of a nerd, likes books, wants to build that, offensive kind of center. Last player was a NOLA, so nobody quite like Joe for dipping back in the pool of players he used to have. It is a off-occurring incident, but I can't blame him when the player's this good. I think it's going to be an absolute gem of a pick, and Joe's getting some very solid value at pick 8, being able to bring in Optimus Autonomous.
Yeah, I think they'll be very beneficial to the NOLA setup they have going right now. What a render. All right, so we're heading over to Montreal for pick 9.
Yeah, the Montreal Patriots did move out of pick 2, but they had another pick in this class at the 9th overall selection. Lots of great talent still available on the board, so we'll see what direction they're looking in. Yeah, it's a team that's very much on the upswing with their rebuild. They have all the pieces, just kind of waiting for them to develop and grow together. So it's like an absurd amount of depth. They also brought in a 1800 TP player in Florian Soderberg-Matla, as well as Johnny Four-Star, who I believe is like 1600 from Winnipeg. So it's a lot of talent happening on that Patriots roster right now, and they're looking to add to it for the future.
Yeah, so it looks like we're going over to Baltimore next for back-to-back picks.
Well, yeah, we're going to announce the pick. It's going to be Captain Obvious, the user Infidel, heading to Montreal from the St. Louis Scarecrows. So I don't think he played in St. Louis. I think he was on San Diego. I don't know why the St. Louis jersey's there. But yeah, heading to Montreal. Infi's been around a long time. I believe he was the first player to go 3 consecutive first overall drafts. Like he went first overall in the J, first overall SHL, then first overall in the J. Maybe not the first, but he did do that. The bank is solid. The TP is excellent as well. If he's sticking around long term, which we're all hoping because we love Infi, it's going to be an excellent pick for Montreal. Just a grade A person. Yeah, but this will bring us to the as you mentioned, the back-to-back picks for Baltimore at 10 and 11. And yeah, we're going to be saying Baltimore a lot. You can be sure of that.
I mean, they only have 5 picks in the first 2 rounds.
Oh, is that all? Yeah. If there's a way to kick off a rebuild, it's to have infinite number of picks. and Wally really is doing that.
I think they own either 15 or 17 as well from that
Should be 15,
previous
yeah.
trade.
So that should be 6 in the first 2 rounds. Yeah, the pick is in. The Baltimore platoon will be selecting Baldur Illich Soderberg Tremblay. The goaltender recently decided, I'm tired of being a goalie and getting bullied for it, and switched to left defense. Jert with a massive bank and solid TP growth, but perhaps not the utmost of max earning. Is heading to Baltimore. You're getting an excellent personality, a guy who's been in head office before, and has been done so much for the events committee over the year. Truly, I don't know where we'd be without Jert in the events committee if it wasn't for him. But it's going to be another very solid pick for the platoon as they're kicking off the rebuild. Just getting some excellent value at pick 10 from a longtime member of the league. And yeah, I think it's going to be another very solid pick for Baltimore.
Yeah, absolutely a solid pick. I do love the goalie render.
And with their second of back-to-back picks, it'll be at 11. Baltimore's picking. And they will be selecting at pick 11 Calfani, the user Zoram. Getting drafted from the Kelowna Knights. His last player was on the Wolfpack, where he was one of the best defensemen of the past 10, 15 seasons. Just a great pick. You're getting a great user who's going to earn well. Has shown that they know what they're doing, can build a great player, excellent in the locker room, and a good person. I think it's a really good pick for Baltimore. They're coming away with 3 very high value selections so far. And yeah, it's looking bright in Baltimore, in Maryland.
Yeah, Baltimore is definitely setting up good with this first round.
Toronto back on the clock. This will be their second pick of the draft. Yeah, we're just going to be repeating teams, actually. If they haven't picked already, they will never pick in this draft. Oh, no, sorry. Philly still has to pick in Chicago. So there's 2 teams still. No, but we'll get to them. But yeah, the North Stars on the clock with their second pick. They went center with Shrine Time at pick 5. So we'll see what direction they're looking at 12. And with the 12th pick, they are selecting David Corrigan, another center, the user DC98, getting drafted out of the Kelowna Knights. Kelowna having a wonderful class so far, with some great picks coming in. 354 TPE. The bank a little light at negative 500,000, but that's something you definitely get fixed. He's a very active member of the rookie Discord, very talkative, very friendly person. He's got a great personality, and Toronto's got to be, again, really excited to bring him in. Must have had a great scouting conversation, and excited to see their future with the North Stars and their rebuild.
All right, looks like we head over to Chicago for their first pick of the draft.
Yeah, the Syndicate kind of on the tail end of their rebuilding stage. They've been looking to move forward with players in their system. But they do still have some picks. We'll look to add some youth that will come up through the years. And the Syndicate will be selecting River Yekaterina Volkova, the user Baron1898. Excellent bank. The TP is great. Apparently, in the ISFL, they are an absolute media fiend, and just incredibly big in the media scene over there. So hopefully, we'll see that come over even more. They've written some excellent media so far, but I always do love seeing more media. So it looks like a great pick. They've been a great person in the rookie Discord, very talkative, helping some rookies who are new to sim leagues in general with understanding the process. Should be a great pick for the syndicate.
Yeah, I had great talks with there, and they definitely know what they're doing because they've been around sim leagues for a long time. They'll make a quality player. They'll be in for the long haul. Really good pick for Chicago.
And that'll bring the Baltimore platoon back on the clock. I didn't see that one coming. But yeah, Wally and Co set to make their fourth first-round selection shortly.
Phillies still, I believe, actually.
Oh, this is Philly's pick. Okay, yeah. It was already there.
Yep, it was already there, but...
Yep, Apollo Seaborn, the user NJ Bad Apple heading over to the Philadelphia Forge. Last player had an excellent career, won lots of awards, put up some great points. The bank account is large, wrote some very big SHL media series to build that bank up. The TP is great, defense is a prime position, and the Forge are bringing in a great value user at this pick 14 position, as they tend to do, which is why they're one of the best teams in the league.
There we get Baltimore again.
And there we go. Now Baltimore is back on the clock. We'll bring the platoon in here. And at pick 15, the Baltimore platoon are selecting Cutter Gauthier from the Kelowna Knights. Kelowna, again, represented very well in this class. And that'll be Tom Servo, who served as the SMJHL intern. Should have some money coming from being the SMJHL intern, so that light bank should turn into having a solid chunk of change. 355 TP is, again, an excellent number to be heading into the SMJHL draft with. Servo's maybe not one of the more talkative users that I've seen on the rookie Discord, but definitely one of the more mature and knowledgeable users, and should be a great pick for Baltimore at this pick 15 slot. And pick 16 will bring us to Minnesota's second pick. Since selecting Phoenix Orion Soderberg Tremblay, they haven't had a selection until now, but have two more just around the corner. So finishing off the round strong with Minnesota. And at pick 16, the Minnesota Monarchs will be selecting Tom O'Donnell, apologies, the user Roddy. The bank's solid, the TP is good. Long-time Hamilton co-GM under Halsey, recently stepped down alongside Halsey and ending up in Minnesota. So we're seeing a change of the guard in terms of their team. But that's a lot of experience Minnesota's bringing in terms of front office experience at Roddy and SD core. So they're adding a lot of SHL GM knowledge into that war room, which will serve them well in the future, and two what should be great players moving forward.
Yeah, I think Minnesota is making really great moves this draft with these two players.
Sorry, I was just, you can see there's the NA there. There's just a sheet error on that pick, something with the Thunder Bay. So I was just sending that to be fixed.
Yeah, so next on the clock, we're looking at the, it's Nola selecting again at pick 17.
I think we.
Give me 1 second here. For this pick, we're going to say his name and he'll appear. Nola is selecting Joe Primo from the Vancouver Whalers. Mr. Prime coming in with 63 million in the account, a fantastic number, and a solid bank account as well. We're going from a lot of SHL members are big WWE fans, so we're bringing in some WWE action here into the NOLA locker room. And yeah, I think it's going to be a good pick. They've been very active. The Whalers were very excited to be able to bring this person in, and that's continued moving forward. Their activity in the rookie Discord has been great. A very friendly person. And yeah, Joe making another very excellent pick.
Yeah, I feel like Mr. Prime really fits Nola's vibes, especially being a huge wrestling fan. And I think it is a good personality fit as well, which you always love to see.
There's Tom O'Donnell on the sheet now.
Excellent. And so we have a new team on the clock, actually. It's the Atlanta Inferno going to be making their selection. Atlanta had a wonderful season. I believe they won the President's Trophy. Didn't make the finals, but just still just a fantastic season by the Inferno this year.
Yeah, I think people underestimated what Atlanta was going to do this year. So I'm really curious to see what they'll get up to at 81. I think they have a really good push waiting for them this season.
And the pick is in. The Atlanta Inferno, apologies, are selecting Vasher Summers. These are Lunar Ripcoal from the Detroit Falcons. Selected 7th overall by the Falcons. The TPE might seem a little low, but I'm sure the Inferno had a great scouting conversation with them. The bank's solid at 5.6 million. And that prime position, again, defense. It's a, I don't know do you know who this render is? Some kind of football player, but it looks like a Buckeyes if I had to guess.
Yeah, I'm not familiar. It does give like almost kind of Ohio State vibes.
Yeah,
but I don't
figured
recognize
Ohio State
him.
Buckeyes vibe. We could probably figure it out, but I don't know if I want to go through the Buckeyes roster. National champions though, so if it is, congratulations. But should be a solid pick if you can play football while also playing hockey. Just multi-talented, so congrats to them for that. And yeah, it should be a solid pick for the Inferno as they tend to draft well. So I have full faith in Vasher Summers' SHL projection.
Oh, so on the portal it says his render is Puka Nakua.
Okay, yeah. I don't know if he played in.
NFL.
Yeah, I don't know if he played in Ohio State, but Puka Nakua is an excellent NFL player.
He had to have though,
played for
because
BYU.
that's definitely not an LA
They
jersey.
color changed it. They must have because he played for BYU.
Yeah, it could
in
be.
Washington.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's just a Rams color swap, I think.
Yep.
An amazing job, graphics team, on this one. You stumped me.
To round out the round, though, we'll have back-to-back Minnesota Monarchs selections. The first and the last, the Alpha and the Omega. The Minnesota Monarchs ending the first round of the S81 SHL Draft, and we'll see what direction they're looking at pick 19, and the pick is in. And they will be selecting Brett McMahon, the user AJW. AJW is a big user in the VHL. Not quite as talkative here, but still a great user. Has had some excellent players. 346 TP, perhaps not the highest of high ends, but still very solid and respectable. 5.5 million in the bank. Definitely something you're able to work with, and I'm excited to see their growth with the Monarchs and see how they develop in the center position.
Yeah, I definitely think Minnesota is really crushing this draft.
And with the last pick of the first round, the Minnesota Monarchs are waiting to find out who it is.
Yep.
And they will be going into the delving into the Great Falls Grizzlies pool. They'll be taking Sazed Colon, potentially the relative of Matt Colon, who played for the Buffalo Stampede back in the day. These are the Flash. 335 TP, again, not the highest, but still very solid, something you can definitely work with. 28 million of the bank is always excellent to see. Very friendly guy when I've seen them around. Easy to talk to. Definitely loves reading, as you can tell, since the last name is from a book character. I think both names are actually from a book character. And yeah, should be a great pick for the Monarchs. I imagine Eddie had a great time nerding out with them about something. That's how I usually predict he makes his picks. But yeah, fantastic pick for the Monarchs.
I think Trips is saying it's pronounced Sazed.
Say Zed.
CZ. That's how I would
I don't
pronounce it.
know.
Or Sawzed.
I get the say.
I
The rest
get
isn't really
Trips.
explained well.
Yeah, Trips is usually right, but I'm gonna say no just to be contrarian.
I feel like this is a Canadian issue.
Probably, but yeah. So say
Probably a
Zed.
Floridian issue, but we're gonna ignore that.
Say Zed is how they're saying it, like a British person says the letter Z. You mean how the rest of the world says Z outside of America?
Love.
I would have said it's Sawzed, but Sazed.
No, it's a book character. It is a book character. I don't think I think it's from the Mistborn series.
I believe
I
so
think
as well. That was my
I haven't read
first
Mistborn
thought.
yet.
I've read the first three, and that was my first thought. Was that's what it was from, but I was not positive.
Regardless, I do love book character names, so a big fan of that. I still have to finish Wheel of Time, Jess. It's coming. Don't worry.
Well, that finishes off our first round.
Yeah, I think we're gonna take a
Surprise
little
goes-
break while we let the GMs catch up. But yeah, sorry. Go ahead about your
Yeah.
surprises.
I was just gonna say, surprisingly, it'll go straight back to Baltimore. So they've already
Yep.
taken 3 so far.
Well, they have what,
And
3 of the
then-
next 6 picks on the clock, so
Then they
Oh.
have 3 more coming up. I will say, when a team piles this heavily into a draft, I fear them in a few seasons.
yeah, no, absolutely. They can definitely be strong from building from a class and getting that chemistry going moving forward. But we'll take a quick break while we let the GMs catch up and continue their draft.
Someone said it's Stormlight Archive.
Yeah, it isn't, because I've read the Stormlight Archives. He's not in there.
I was gonna say I haven't read the Stormlight Archives.
I have. He's not in there.
Sorry, Hats, they're saying you're wrong.
Colon, yes, but says that no.
Oh, there you go. It's-
Trips putting him in his place.
Yeah, Trip's a
Myth.
big nerd. Are we muted?
Nerd.
No, we shouldn't be.
Like a good
Did
nerd.
you want to mute us so we can take a little break?
Yeah, do you
I'm
want
not taking a break
Yep.
during one of these.
to? Sure, we'll be right back. hello, welcome back.
Yeah, we're back for the second round of the SHL Entry Draft. Baltimore is on the clock at pick 21. Lots of great talent still available. So we'll see who gets drafted in the second round and where they're heading. But so far, it's been a great draft, and I'm excited to see what else is going to happen. At pick 21, the Baltimore Platoon will be selecting John Gibson, the user 01 Plays. Definitely been very active on the rookie Discord, one of the more vocal and excited goalies. So I'm excited to see him head to a team that's rebuilding, that has a great spot for him in the future. 345 TP and 6 mil in the bank. Both great numbers for a top of the second round pick, and excited to see their future with Baltimore. Big congrats to John Gibson. That'll bring us back to Nola on the clock.
I have that New England
Yes.
has 22.
There is a trade here.
Yeah, and we'll have a trade to announce.
I don't think I have a...
All right, well, we can just get the trade here and talk about it. We don't need to necessarily need a sheet. Here we go. Okay, so Toronto apparently has this pick, and Toronto is sending the pick to New England. So pick 22 is heading to New England in exchange for pick 27, New England's S81 second, as well as New England's S83 third round pick. So that's pick 22 for pick 27. And New England's S83 third. New England is on the clock. And they will be selecting...
Toronto got this pick from that three-way deal involving Winnipeg.
Excellent.
For second overall.
Okay.
This was Montreal's pick originally. Ends up in Toronto.
Perfect. Yeah, well, the New England Wolfpack will be selecting, as listed, Hans or Havron, user Raven. Raven's a great user. He's been around a long time and always earns. He is most definitely a weeb, but he's a really great person. Like to make fun of him a bit. Always good to have in the locker room. Very loyal, very committed, very easy to talk to, and very friendly. One of the European users, if you have other European users, so someone to keep up with that timeline. The bank is a little light, but he generally keeps that afloat at 8.5 million, and should be a great pick for the Wolfpack as they're solidifying their net mining presence for the future.
Well, I will say,
Karsika retired. I'd like to mention just a great career
Yeah.
for him.
well, Raven's profile on site does say not a weeb.
It's a lie. And this will bring us back to Baltimore at pick 23. This is their sixth selection of the draft. So we'll see what kind of route they're looking to go for here after picking a goaltender. And they at 23, the Baltimore Platoon will be selecting Keenan McKellar, the user Rizuko. The bank is definitely like an immediate concern at the negative 1.5 million, but the TP is solid at 318. Definitely been earning and working hard. And money is always something that can be fixed and earned.
Mhm.
There's media, podcasts, graphics, jobs, all sorts of different ways to make money. See them in the rookie Discord. They're interested, talkative, and look like they'll be a good fit for the platoon rebuild as it goes forward. And that'll bring us to Tampa Bay on the clock. This will be their first pick of the draft after making the SHL finals last season, losing in 6 games to the San Francisco Pride. But congrats to them for making there. It's a not easy to even get to the final. So big congrats to them for reaching that point. And the pick is in. The Tampa Bay Barracuda will be selecting Malte Hogberg, the user Henrik. I think this is the first time in a very long time, or possibly ever, Henrik won't be on the San Francisco Pride. So that's a bit surprising to see.
Mm-hmm.
But 324 TP, the bank's a little light, but Henrik is just a great guy in terms of veteran presence and being a big nerd, which I always appreciate. But I think he's going to be a great fit in Tampa to develop at center there. Excited to see his career develop there. And yeah, it's a great pick by DK of the Tampa Bay Barracuda.
Yeah, as much as we really wanted him back with literally the next pick to San Fran, he is reuniting with Agent Smith over in Tampa, so that is nice to see.
Reunited, and it feels so good. And this will bring SFP on the clock, following the pick of longtime former co-GM Henrik. Congrats to San Francisco for winning the Challenge Cup this year, by the way. Back-to-back and 3 of the last 4 is a tremendous accomplishment. Something most teams can't do. I don't know if it's ever been done in 3 of the last 4, outside of maybe like a Hamilton thing back in the 50s. So that's a tremendous accomplishment for sure.
I can tell you about losing 3 of the last 4, that's for sure.
Yeah, Winnipeg Aurora fans are crying in the stands, that's for sure. But at pick 25, the San Francisco Pride are going to be selecting No Cheddar, the user just here to not get fined. Yeah, that's their. Is that their username? Just here to not get fined?
Yes.
All right. Did you want to speak a bit about this pick and why you were looking at them?
Yeah, so to be honest, I didn't get a chance to scout him myself. I was relying heavily on Shawnee, the Vancouver GM, as my scout this season. One of my scouts, and he spoke so highly of this user and just said that he was so active and wanted to do so much in the league. And I want that kind of energy for our future core.
Yeah, trusting the word of longtime veteran in the room, Shawnee. It should be a great pick. Coming from the Whalers, so he'd know them very personally as he GMs that team. The bank is good, the TP is good, and excited to see the pick and SFP as perhaps they're in the tail end of what has been a dominant era of San Francisco hockey. And if you haven't heard it before, the Baltimore Platoon are on the... Oh, is this a trade?
There is a trade. So the GMs have done them out of order, but so we have this trade to announce for pick 29.
Yeah, so at 29, the New England Wolfpack are receiving pick 29 from Manhattan. Manhattan is receiving season 85 New England's third. So 29 to New England there.
Yep. And then there's another trade after, which is for this current pick going to Atlanta. And it belonged to New Orleans? Yes, this was part of the earlier trade between Baltimore and New Orleans for 8th and 17th. 8th and 15th swap. NOLA also got this pick. NOLA is sending it to ATL and getting 31 and a second in the future.
All right. GM's making this interesting.
Yeah, some trades happening. Love the board action. Don't love that it delays the draft and makes us have to figure out one thing. But Atlanta Inferno on the clock at 26. And the Atlanta Inferno will be selecting Lucas Lindberg, the user Vaxlair. Vaxlar? 342 TP, 9 mil in the bank. Former longtime general manager of the Detroit Falcons in the SMJHL. Played for Maine this season. A very friendly guy, very easy to talk to. A real great presence to have in the locker room. It's going to be a very solid pick for the Inferno, which is why they moved up to be able to secure him. I'd say it's a bit of a coup to be able to get up at this point of the draft, especially if you can keep them interested long term in earning. I think it's going to be a very solid selection for the Inferno.
I believe this previous player was a long-time player for the Stampede, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, could be right. I can't remember off the top of my head, but I do think this is a very, very solid value pick.
They were definitely an S62 player. This is my previous draft. I remember that.
All right, so more action happening because it looks like now Toronto has 27.
Yes. So Toronto obtained 27. Pretty sure I just read it. Yes, so that was in the earlier trade when New England received 22. They gave 27 to Toronto.
Excellent. So that'll bring the North Stars on the clock. Following a plethora of picks they've already had this class. We'll look to see where they're going at 27. The Toronto North Stars are selecting Outen Daboonies, the user Glick, who I've seen in the draft channel here. Congrats to you. A waiver pickup with 300 TP and 1 mil in the bank. They've been progressing very well so far. I'm excited to see their further growth, and that's a pretty solid pun name.
That's a quality name.
And I think, having I don't know who the player is, but having the mullet kind of fits.
It looks like
Definitely
Brandon
does.
Tanev, I believe.
Tanev, yeah, I could see that, yeah. But out in Daboonies with Brandon Tanev definitely does fit. I think it's gonna be a very solid pick. And out in Daboonies also fits with Jay, so I think that's a match made in heaven.
I love it. So it looks like for 28, BAP traded it to Texas earlier today, and Texas is then trading it again.
I believe Texas keeps this pick.
I have that Atlanta got it. Let me double check.
This 20.
No, Texas keeps the pick at 28.
Okay, because Atlanta just said they got a Texas second. They didn't specify which.
Yeah.
So I assumed it was that one. These
Lots of
GMs
things
making
happening.
me work hard tonight.
Yep, Texas keeping this selection. And we'll see what direction Cooper is going here. At pick 28, the Texas Renegades will be selecting D. Centerman the fourth junior, the user Grok. Grok is an absolute dynamo of a user. To get him at this point of the draft is an absolute coup. 77 million in the bank, max earning TP 353. Played in the title in the J this season. He is making a very optimized full, 1300, just under 1300 TP build, but he's going to be a very valuable piece for a contending team in the future. With that build, and it's a massive value selection at this point of the draft. Texas is getting just a real gem of a person and a player for a long time.
Yeah, I do think that's a really good user for them. All right. So over to New England. Yes. So New England traded and got this pick from LAP. I think we have a trade for like the next several picks.
Did we? Oh, we did announce
Yes, let me.
this one earlier. It was LAP second. They got it from Manhattan.
Perfect.
So Manhattan had back-to-back picks here.
Yeah, the second's kind of just been like popcorn.
Yeah. the trades happened out of order too, and like back and forth.
Yeah.
It's a wild second round.
It is a wild ride over here.
But yes, this one is New England. And
Alright, so Luke and the New England Wolfpack are going to be selecting William Marshall, the user KB.M. TPE is right up there with the max earners of the class. The bank is very solid. This is a very good value pick on the surface if you're looking at stats. Perhaps not the most talkative user, which is why they dropped a bit, but everything on the surface is showing a very strong pick, even for the first round, let alone the middle of the second. So this is looking like an excellent pick, and should be a great center for the New England Wolfpack in the future. And we have another trade to announce.
Yes, it looks like 30 also switched hands. So Manhattan gave over 30 to Winnipeg, and in return they got a season 83 third from Winnipeg.
Perfect. So that is bringing the Winnipeg Aurora back on the clock. Another move back into the draft after trading up for pick 2. And at pick 30, the Winnipeg Aurora are pleased to select Subban, the user Smelly, coming from the Ottawa Highlanders at 271 TP, but with a very solid bank at just under 19 million. Subban is a fantastic person, real life friends with their second overall pick from last season, Leo Carlson, and another Ducks fan, so joining Rex and Carlson there. Subban's going to be an excellent pick for the Aurora, not just in terms of the player they're bringing in, but the vibes. And I think that's a wonderful pick for them at this juncture of the draft.
Yeah, that is a really good pick, and that bank is outstanding. All right, so I believe this pick has also changed hands twice. Earlier, we saw Atlanta give 31 over to Nola. Nola then in turn flipped it to Toronto. So Nola gave Toronto 31 overall, and in return, Toronto is giving them a season's 82 New England third.
yeah, this is really
So
interesting.
it's changed hands twice, this draft alone.
It seems like quite a stacked second round, just in terms of quality of players, and so there's a lot of movement.
Yes, it is a really stacked draft. So this will be going over to Toronto for 31.
And the pick is in. Yeah, at pick 31, the Toronto North Stars will be selecting Levy Bedrock, the user Neodex. Again, that TP at this juncture of the draft is excellent. The bank is very solid, coming from a very solid Kelowna Knights team that is bringing in a lot of talent from their past class. So shout out to Pyro Apaka for a great class he's taken and developed at Kelowna. And yeah, this user's, on the surface, bringing in just about everything you could want from a player at this point of the draft. Excellent TP, excellent bank, and you're just hoping to help, develop them and keep them doing what they're doing as they move forward.
Yeah, like you said, already being in the 30s and still having players with very active TP levels is really amazing. I am pleased to announce 32 has not changed hands.
Thank you, Alex. And fake Gabe.
That really confused me for a second there.
All right, at pick 32, the Hamilton Steelhawks are pleased to select Severin Quinn, the user Severin. The TP's, still very solid. Not the amazing max earning levels, but still very respectable at 316. The bank is definitely something to work on. But, you're talking about someone who wears a Cooper helmet, not even Jofa. Like, we're going way back here. They probably have some investments they could take out of their RSPs and put them into the player soon. Something to work forward to, but a solid pick, and hoping to develop them as they move forward into a great career with the Steelhawks.
Yeah, I do really like that pick this late in the draft for him. All right, 33 is still with Toronto, so they are really stacking up this draft.
And at pick 33, the Toronto North Stars are pleased to select Matty Bjarnjarsen, the user Ivornen, coming from the Great Falls Grizzlies. It's another goaltender in this excellent goaltender class. The TP is amazing, 355, a solid bank at 13 million. He's been in the rookie Discord on and off, maybe one of the more quieter users, but definitely still active in there. And seems like a very friendly, kind person. He's heading to the North Stars, hopefully to help them have a goaltender of the future. And it looks like a very solid pick. Yeah, great selection by Jay and the North Stars.
That is definitely solid. I know people joke that TP doesn't matter for goalies, but it does greatly impact their longevity and how long they can stick it out. And he has a lot of TP already, pretty young.
And I believe the Forge are keeping this one, unless I'm mistaken.
They should be keeping it.
And they will be selecting the left defenseman, Lance Frappe, the user Mr. Karma 94. Again, very solid TP, 320. The bank's excellent at 4 million. Defense is a premium position. If you develop this player moving forward, you're getting a solid player at a very quality draft position. And that'll be very important for long-term contending to be able to get these kind of picks later in the round at a position that, every team needs. Every team needs defense.
Yeah, I'm honestly surprised Mr. Karma dropped that low. Scouting talks with him were really great.
I think we've said that a lot about the people in the second round. It's just been
It's just a deep
with some
draft
great
in
users.
general. Yeah, it's just a really good draft. So 35 has been forfeited by NOLA. You will see that a lot in this draft, unfortunately. We had some GM snafus last season.
So it will be Minnesota on the clock. And at pick 36, they will be selecting Mitch Morris, the user Global. It is a waiver pickup, so the TP might look very low, but it's simply just someone who joined late. I don't believe they've done coaching this season as well yet, which is why it's down a bit. But they can get that bank going. There's a lot of growth room for this player. And they're at, again, defense is a premium position. I think there's only like 8 active defensemen or something ridiculous. So getting one of those users is a great selection at this point of the draft. And heading to Minnesota, where they're circling out that rebuild, finishing it off.
Yeah, Minnesota's done a great job this draft.
And now we have back-to-back Hamilton picks on the clock at 37 and 38. And the pick is in at pick 37. The Hamilton Steelhawks will be selecting If You Ain't First, Do the Pyro. The TP is excellent, 350 TP. The bank account, again, is very slim, so working on getting that going. Was taken by the Whalers 49th, but has shown some excellent, consistent growth and able to head into the Steelhawks locker room and grow with that young core moving forward. And who doesn't love a Will Ferrell render for a player?
Yeah, Pyro number 3 is going to fit in pretty well with Hamilton. I think he'll be good there. And now 38 has changed hands. This was the mysterious Texas second I couldn't find. Before the draft, Texas did trade it to Hamilton, and Hamilton is flipping it around and trading it to Atlanta. So if I can find that one. Okay. So Atlanta is getting 38 overall, and Hamilton in return is getting the Atlanta third next round and a season 82 Atlanta third.
I think it's the second time Atlanta's traded it as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that makes 3 picks on the first 2 rounds for them.
And at pick 38, Atlanta will be selecting Cauliflower Pizza, the user Birdman. The TP and money are great. Birdman is a longtime user, was the founder of the Newfoundland Berserkers. As you can guess, he is also a Newfie. Excited to see if he can, keep it going and maintain a great career in the Inferno, because Birdman is a great guy to have around. He's very friendly, and I don't know what this renders. I can see the cauliflower, but
the cauliflower kind of scares me.
Yeah, I don't know what the.
It almost looks radioactive.
Yeah, it's orange.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess if people are terrified of what's in net, they won't shoot the puck. So a good strategy by the Inferno here.
It's like that commercial where you just put the walrus in front of the net.
Put Sfeel in net. No one will shoot the puck.
You can't. Sfeel's too cute.
And this will bring us to pick 39, the Tampa Bay Barracuda on the clock. And the Tampa Bay Barracuda will be selecting Linus Ully, the user Agito. This is another one of the goaltenders of this class. Again, a very stacked goalie class. The TP 351 at pick 39 is absurd. That's a tremendous value for the Barracuda. The bank account is on the lighter end of the goalies that have been selected. But again, you're getting a very active, dedicated user at the goalie position who's going to be, a goalie of the future for you and has shown tremendous growth and development at this point of the draft. I think it's a great pick for Tampa Bay, and congrats to Agito.
Yeah, that is such a great pick. At the end of the second, it's a steal practically.
And rounding out the second round, we will have the Toronto North Stars picking. And the Toronto North Stars will be selecting at pick 40, Ty Sinclair, the user TubbyTim69. Tubby Tim is a big-time user in the ISFL. I believe he was a GM there, might have been a commish as well. Maybe I'm making that part up. But he's at defensive premium position. Probably knows Jay from Jay's time in the ISFL. Good guy, very friendly. We were teammates in Newfoundland together. It's a good guy to have around. I think it's going to be a solid pick, especially if they can get him active and developing. But yeah, you could have not every player needs to be a 2K player to be useful. You can have a very solid depth defenseman, and that's also very important to a contending team in the future.
Absolutely.
And at pick 41, Minnesota will forfeit.
I think, do we want to keep going here? Or do we want to take another break? I think
Yeah, we can keep going.
Yeah, I think we can just keep going.
42 is Montreal and they're passing.
Excellent. So we have a pass at 42, bringing us to 43 for Hamilton. And at pick 43, the Hamilton Steelhawks are selecting Mathématique. These are Yagoi. The TP is excellent. The bank is excellent. Yagoi is a long-time member of the SHL. Has come back and forth a bit. Last player kind of didn't pan out perhaps the way you wanted, but he's shown great development, and it's a very solid pick in terms of the TP and bank account he has at this point. And Hamilton's getting a great future player if they keep him on the track he's on so far at pick 43 in the draft, which is just fantastic for them.
Yeah, absolutely. You don't know if he's going to stay and be a 2K player. That would be amazing for this kind of pick.
Yeah, 40.
All right, so yeah, Buffalo has passed for 44.
That'll bring us to Baltimore at 45.
It does. So this is their 7th of the draft, I believe.
Stop us if you've heard this one before, but Baltimore's on the clock.
Never, what team? Never heard of them. But the Baltimore platoon at pick 45 will be selecting Paul Krugman, the user Brock Sampson. 223 TPE. The bank account is a little light as well. We're kind of at the point where you're taking some, perhaps sometimes you're taking some long shots and some steals who might have fallen through the cracks. But yeah, you're hoping you can bring this user back to keep them earning and get them going again. It's a waiver claim, so the TP is a little lower because of that as well. But I don't know who this render is. Is Paul Krugman like an actor? I do like the old man player vibe though.
Yeah, Paul Krugman is a 71-year-old actor. Oh no, he's not an actor. He's an economist, a distinguished professor, an author,
He's an economist.
Paul Krugman's a big
a
nerd.
New York Times columnist
Excellent. So big nerd
on
heading to the Baltimore.
macroeconomics. I love it. I love how niche that got. Not just any old man.
I thought he was like a Santa Claus actor.
He could. We don't know what he does in his free time.
That's fair. Well, we'll go to pick 46, Minnesota on the clock. Oh, and that's actually Jess's husband. I just found out, as she let me know. So she'll bully him
Paul
into
Krugman.
doing more stuff. Yeah.
I
But
saw-
at pick 40,
I
Go
saw
ahead.
she said in the YouTube chat his bank account is light because he won't do anything unless I bully him.
yeah, and I'm
Being
sure,
valid.
yeah, I'm sure she can bully him.
We'll do
Oh,
a podcast or something.
Apparently,
I like it.
Krugman also has a Nobel Prize, so you know, the
Well,
fans
that
will love
did
That's a lot to
not
live up
come
to.
up on the Google search.
him. I guess
I like
Google
that Nobel Prize is like lower than New York Times columnist on
Probably
the Google
pays more.
search.
But yeah, we'll have the Minnesota Monarchs at pick 46, and they are looking to select Ryan Fishman, the user HHASCOE. I'm gonna go for that. Excellent TP at 311 for this point of the draft, but the bank account is again a concern. definitely not something that can't be fixed with the right motivation, the right teaching. But you're hoping they can get that turned around. And Ryan Fishman, the last name Fishman just sounds real great on a jersey. I'd definitely get a Fishman jersey.
I would.
And we have New England on the clock at 47. Unless they've traded it. I don't think they traded it, though, did they?
Nope. Looks like it's
Nope.
still on
Perfect. All right, so at pick 47, the New England Wolfpack are going to select
yep.
Radley Yates, the user Conrad DVD. And I am always a big fan of anyone with a dog render. Lots of great dog renders in SHL history that have turned into fantastic players. Defense at a position, again, is very vital. 311 TP at this point of the draft is a very solid TP level to have. The bank is light. I'll probably keep saying that for almost every pick that still comes. But that's, kind of why they're available at this point of the draft, is you're not sure if they can get that money going or they need the right motivation to get that. And hopefully they can and become just a steal and a great player. Would love to see another very solid dog player in the SHL.
Plus, that is like one of the cutest dogs I've ever seen.
It's an old man dog. It's like, how Caleb is an old man in a young person's body? This is an old man in a dog body.
He just needs snuggles. Get that big.
And this will bring us to pick 49 with the Los Angeles Panthers on the clock.
It's Hamilton at 48.
Oh, Hamilton 48. Okay, so we have at 48, Hamilton is selecting Jacques Cartier from Vancouver. The user Ulysses514. PK Subban render, which I do enjoy. But the bank and TP is very low, so this is, again, just kind of a shot in the dark. Jacques Cartier is famous for being the person who might have possibly been the first European settler to land on the shore of Canada. There is actually a monument to Newfoundland that attests to the fact that he might have been that person. So that's always fun. But hopefully they can get this person turned around, active and earning. It would be great to see them in the league.
That's awesome. I like the little history lesson. I just thought it was a cute French name. American schools don't teach much.
Unsurprising, but yeah, we have LAP on the clock at pick 49. Excellent. And at pick 49, the Los Angeles Panthers will be selecting Bam Morris, the user Mr. 35. I'm hoping this player brings some truculence with a name like Bam. You better be hitting people. But the TP is not bad, especially for a waiver pickup, 259. The bank is something that needs to be worked on. Again, I'm going to sound like a broken record here. But just over 2 million isn't terrible. It's definitely something that's salvageable, something you could work on. And I'm excited to see how they grow with LA, who are known for developing great players. And this will bring us to a forfeit by Manhattan at pick 50. And Seattle will pass at pick 51, bringing us to Toronto at pick 52. And at pick 52, the Toronto North Stars will be selecting Dakota Glover, the user Dakota B23. The TP and bank are very light. It is a waiver pickup. So still some solid growth shown, but not the top end of this class for sure. But if you can get that bank account flipped, definitely a salvageable player in there. I've seen players in much worse states still become, 3-time SHL Cup champions and 1,800 TP users. So definitely not the end of the world. Something you could work through. and get going with the right motivation. And I'm hoping to see if they can, build that bank up a lot and build a great SHL user in Toronto.
Yeah, definitely no harm in taking people this late. You never know who pans out.
And this will bring us to pick 54 as Calgary is forfeiting pick 53. The Philadelphia Forge on the clock. And the Philadelphia Forge at pick 54 will be selecting their general manager, Reg Kirkby, the user Axolap. He's going to max earn. He's going to be part of a very strong team in Philadelphia. Axolap makes great teams and makes great players. His last player is very likely an SHL Hall of Famer in the near future. And so it's not a value pick because he's forced to go here. But it's going to be a great fit for their team, and they're going to have another wonderful piece to build around in the long term. 55 will be a pass, bringing it to 56 for Atlanta.
56 for Atlanta. Interesting.
Yes,
Oh, they're
that was the
trading
one
ones,
that was
actually.
included in the Hamilton Atlanta trade earlier. They acquired the third rounder from Texas or Hamilton. There's a lot of trades. But yes, it's Atlanta.
No, it's Hamilton's.
It's Hamilton's.
Yeah.
Yes.
And at 56, Hamilton will be picking.
Yep.
And they'll be taking Charlie Parks, the user Big Chuck01. The TP again for a player who was at the SHL draft, not the higher end, still very, very decent though. 275 isn't bad at all. The bank is something that needs attending to be able to continue training moving forward. But when you're throwing darts, this kind of player profile is definitely one that you can see something salvageable from. The TP solid.
Mm-hmm.
The bank is a lot of people, their first time player. The bank is something that needs work, and learning how and getting advice and tips and tricks. So hopefully Charlie Parks will come in and be a big part of this resurging Hamilton rebuild that's in progress. All right, and this will bring us to 57 at Toronto. And the Toronto North Stars will be selecting Matthew LaRue, the user Good Left Undone. The TP, again, not the highest, but there's a lot of bank to work with there. You're talking about 16, almost $17 million in the bank. Definitely something you might be able to project as a depth player, or maybe they could turn around and be a big part of a top six for Toronto moving forward. But a very good profile of a player you're selecting this late in the draft. Definitely something you can work with to become an important part of your team moving forward.
Yeah, Toronto's had a pretty solid draft.
And Minnesota will be on the clock at pick 58. And the Minnesota Monarchs are going to select Nathan Bodie, the user Wallfly. They're inactive.
Yeah.
That's an interesting
No waiver
one.
or draft.
I don't think I've ever seen that before.
Yeah, they're not on a team currently. They're inactive. Maybe they come back though. But this is a long shot of long shots.
You never know. Send them a couple DMs, see what happens, I guess.
In 59, Tampa Bay will be on the clock. No, Tampa Bay will be on the clock. apparently Eddie does know that the Wallfly user from other sim leagues. But the 173
Okay.
and $0 in the bank, it's going to need a lot of massaging to turn into a good player. But if Eddie knows them and trusts them, it could end up being a really solid pick. And the Tampa Bay Barracuda at pick 59 will be selecting Franjo Frankopan Jelicek. The user Sneck. 289 TP is excellent. Positive bank balance is looking good as well. Should be able to massage them into a very solid player. DK throws a lot of darts and he hits on a lot of them. That's why Tampa made the finals this season. He's good at digging deep into the draft, and I think this could end up being another one of those good late picks.
Yeah, again, sometimes you just never know with these late picks.
And SFP will be forfeiting for being just awful people and breaking rules.
Yeah.
They'll be forfeiting pick 60. We'll have passes at 61 and 62, leading to Hamilton at pick 63. And at pick 63, the Hamilton Steelhawks will be selecting Denali Nettleberg. These are dynamic MLB 42 with the Captain Picard. Is that him? Or is he the X-Men guy?
Yes.
Are they the same actor?
It's the same.
They're the same guy.
All right. I'm not a big fan of either franchise, so I couldn't confirm, but I was pretty sure. But yeah, 288 TPE, solid bank balance. They're very active in the PBE, I believe. And they've been noticeable in the rookie Discord as well, talkative and chatting there. This is, if you can keep them active and going, they've had a tendency to kind of recreate after juniors, but if you can keep them going, this could be an excellent pick for Hamilton at this juncture.
I think they were in the chat earlier as well.
Yep, they were here.
All right, so we have quite a few passes. BAP has also passed, so we actually are passing all the way until 78.
Yeah. Atlanta passed as well in there.
Yeah, we're just going all the way down
We'll
to
go
Texas.
We're just gonna go to Texas.
There's 2 picks left, so you just don't worry about it too much.
Texas is all that's left.
And Texas will be selecting Bubbles Puff, the user Moonchild XOX. The TP is actually pretty solid. The bank account does need work again, as I've stated often. But I do love a Powerpuff Girls render. I think that's a lot of fun. And Texas, like Tampa Bay, are one of those teams that deep dives into the draft, making sure everyone has a chance to get drafted, and sometimes they'll hit on some late picks. And this might be one of them, and that would be excellent for them moving forward.
Well,
And
Bubbles is my favorite Powerpuff Girl, so.
There you go. We have the last pick of the draft. Texas will be selecting at pick 98, and they'll take Hitlock Burrito, which sounds like a really spicy burrito. I'd probably try it. But yeah, it seems like they've kind of disappeared a bit. They haven't really been earning TP, but they've got a lot of money in the bank. So the opportunity to have it comes back if you return. And maybe they might be able to turn into a salvageable SHL player. But yeah, as of now, I don't think they're currently doing too much in the league given the TPE growth we're seeing. But hopeful we can see that change. It would be great for Texas. And that will be your S81 SHL draft. Congrats to everyone who got drafted. A wonderful class with some great people, some great personalities, and a lot of Baltimore and Toronto and Minnesota.
It was. But good job and congratulations, everyone.
Yeah, and we'll see you next year. Have a good one.